I would say that's one of our important role because, like I stated earlier, Priya believes in knowledge and power, and one of the intermediation role we've tried to do is bridge the gap between the popular knowledge systems and the dominant knowledge systems, and even amongst them. So within popular knowledge and within the domain of the dominant knowledge. So we've tried to do that, and our whole approach on participatory research builds on that. That how do you value popular knowledge, and how do you help people recognize the relevance of popular knowledge? How do you unpack dominant knowledge systems, demystify it, and then how do you bring these two knowledge systems to to gain from each other? So one doesn't say that. So the people in the communities would definitely have their own traditional knowledge, but they would definitely want to access dominant knowledge from policymakers, from government departments. So how do you provide that bridge? So Priya has been doing that. And similarly, how do you bring the voices of the marginalized and the poor to the policymakers and the different development practitioners? So that's been one of our main focus of our work for the last 30
yes,
years.
I do. And I think, apart from facilitating information exchange process, I think one important role a knowledge broker plays is developing networks, making that work. And I think I'm very much into that part.
Yeah, me too. What we do is that information we divide it into different parts. Audiovisuals part is there, the journals, the research papers part is there, the news part is there. The documents and books parts is there. So it's divided into different opinions are there, blogs are there. So it's put into different sections. So if anyone who wants to voice the opinion, we put it in the opinion section. Anyone who wants to write something about something, for instance, the nuclear accident in Japan, they want to voice the opinion about the environmental fallout. They put it in the blog. So we put it in the India Environment Portal. That is it.
Because we are like, our few initiatives are in sync with this knowledge broking.
Okay. Part of the India Water Portal, most of the work that we do is collating, cleaning up, putting up information and data on water and sanitation on a consolidated platform, and people find us through going online or through Google or through people who already know about us, and they're able to access the information they're looking for. At an individual level, yes, there are people who ask me about connecting them to organizations or individuals working in a certain space in water. For example, they're interested in working in fluoride in water, and I could connect them with people who might know about in this space. So
I'm certainly involved in knowledge brokering work. A lot of my work is less about the kind of intermediary end of that role, and it's more about kind of bringing people together, but also working with different people to come up with new solutions to address kind of information and knowledge challenges.
It's interesting because my understanding of the term knowledge brokering from our previous discussions, including these, is this slight digression, but is that in some cases with knowledge brokering, they will take the knowledge assets that are available and repackage it by adding some kind of value to that information. So from what you're describing as well is that you may take the research and make it accessible to individuals, and that process of translating the information is in a sense knowledge brokering.
Okay.
Would you see that as a part of your role to make the information more accessible, or do you just make the research available as it is in its pure form?
We do both. So we don't cater to any one group. So it's not just that we take research from researchers and put them into a form that people can access. We also help people make their own research findings. And these collaborations work very well because what people learn from researchers is scientific method. How do they make the data as credible as possible? It's not just enough to say that I saw a robin. It's important to say what kind of robin I saw it, what time of the day I saw it, on which tree did I see it, in which locality do I live in, because it makes it easier to identify that robin correctly with all this information. But unless you are in contact with a researcher who works or who has experience with the scientific method, you might not understand that the needs of the data that you're providing. So as a facilitator, we provide data which is in its primary form, which can be used by other researchers and hopefully help in collaborations between researchers. But we also provide data that comes from citizen scientists that can be used by researchers, that can be refined or used by researchers, and the other way around.
Yeah, I do regard, but more than that, I think my job and my role is of more of information intermediary than a knowledge broker. Because what happens, we provide knowledge and we tell people to use it, but ultimately we don't know whether the researchers will be using that. See, we disseminate, more of a disseminator role we play. And we tell them, okay, this is the information available or knowledge which you can use, which is for the betterment of your research or betterment of which can have a better policy making. So, but ultimately it left on the users whether the use.
That's interesting.